Hello everyone. Today I'm going to talk about gaslighting. Without further ado, let's get started. Gaslighting is manipulation. Gaslighters will lie about things you know are true and accuse you of being in the wrong. Take a look at Scottish First Minister's wife, for instance. We know her family were trapped in Gaza, and she has been calling for urgent ceasefire in Gaza at the international summit in Turkey. If you ask me, she's got a legitimate reason for doing so. But what does her or her husband's religion got anything to do with Gaza? What if they were Christians? Unless, of course, the remark was made by a gaslighting Zionist. Does it even matter if I decide to sport a silver necklace or a Pakistani dress code? We've got freedom of expression and freedom of religion in this country, haven't we? You wouldn't bring any of it just because you're gaslighting the plea for ceasefire, gaslighting a genocide case brought in by South Africa, would you? Also, how is it not bigotry when you accuse others of stalking you when they mention your own daughter once? But it's not stalking when you're repeatedly talking about someone and his wife. How does his wife's religion even matter? What if she was from Gaza but she was a Christian? Since you said you're a Zionist, I got a question for you. You're not saying all this because you're a Muslim hater, are you? What do her other brother's story, who lives in the UK, got to do with her calling for ceasefire in Gaza? She talks about Gaza, and you're gaslighting her by arbitrarily connecting two completely different events. When you're talking of an event of her brother stuck in Gaza, why did you introduce a strawman argument of her second brother talking about cannabis? Let me tell you what you're doing here. You're a troll. You're trolling her family because she's Palestinian and you're a Zionist. That's why you're making irrelevant and ambiguous statements concerning her family. You're painting a contorted picture of events. If you spent less time lingering on your couch, you would know drugs consumption rooms are a regular feature in Britain, where drug users use clean needles when doing heroin. This is done to prevent a spread of HIV using dirty needles. There's nothing embarrassing talking about it. They didn't go quiet about this. You're the one to say they have, by introducing another strawman argument. You're running a smear campaign. For some strange reason, you always spoke of Boris Johnson, but not even once did you mention the fact our Prime Minister has admitted trying both cocaine and cannabis while at university. We all know why. You're a Zionist and you're acting like a dirty gaslighter. You spilled the beans towards the end of your video, saying she might stop shooting her mouth off about Israel and genocide. I think she's perfectly entitled to keep her private life to herself, the very same wish you expressed about your family. I understand why you want her to keep her mouth shut. It doesn't take a genius to understand you don't want her to speak about a series of Israeli offences. From the indiscriminate killing of Palestinian civilians to the wholesale destruction of Gaza's infrastructure. You don't want her to talk about acts which are genocidal in character because they are intended to bring about the destruction of a substantial part of the Palestinian population in Gaza. Of course you don't want her to talk about Benjamin Netanyahu and his subordinate politicians and army officials making statements that express genocidal intent. Israeli leaders, including the President, Prime Minister, and the Defense Minister, military commanders, and the persons holding official positions, who all have systematically and in explicit terms declared their genocidal intent. As a Zionist who has a great issue with someone being a Muslim, of course you don't want her to talk about why other key Zionists in Israel said there are no innocent people in the Gaza Strip. It's not difficult to work out why you don't want anyone to ask questions why key Zionists say this is a struggle between the children of light and the children of darkness. Like many others, you know full well that many of the statements were motivated by hate, revenge, and indicate an official Israeli intent to willfully commit crimes, war crimes. However, there is a light in the tunnel. Israeli MP Ofer Kassif, an Israeli politician, is taking a bold stance against the genocide. He recently signed a petition supporting South Africa's case of genocide against Israel, which was heard at the International Court of Justice. He may face being forever expelled from Israel for what he said, but his brave words resonate with me. He said, "My constitutional duty is to Israeli society and all its residents, not to a government whose members and its coalition are calling for ethnic cleansing and even actual genocide. They are the ones who harmed the country and the people. They are the ones who led to South Africa's appeal to The Hague, not me and my friends. That's what this is all about, not some drugs, and you know it."